The Bills, Colin, they're kicking off a post-Sean McDermott era, and OTA started up on Tuesday. Signs of the change are visible throughout the facility. Joe Brady has changed up, got a new mantra, put the ball down. We know coaches love those statements and post them all over the walls. According to Deion Dawkins, their left tackle, there's a new vibe and energy that is definitely different. It's not apples to apples because Mike Brown was not on the Knicks staff, but when you fire Tibbs from the Knicks, you've been good, and you were just in the conference.
That's right.
The bar is really high for Joe Brady. Now, he's already been there, and he's already proven his unit, the offense, has kind of carried the team. The question with this team, ironically, of firing Sean McDermott was the defense, and he's a defensive guy. Joe Brady can't really fix that, though he brought in, Rex Ryan's longtime safety, Jim Leonard.
Yeah.
Really, really smart, impressive Big Ten guy,
been
in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It's going to be on him because we know, if Josh is healthy, heck, he had a bad playoff game and they were still putting up points, in Denver.
Well, listen, Tibbs and Sean McDermott's a good comp because Tibbs was getting them and winning playoff series. The difference between a defensive coach, and they're wound pretty tight, and an offensive coach that are very creative. We've seen this. Mike Tomlin, great coach, felt a little outdated at the end. Pete Carroll, defensive coach, outdated. Sean McDermott, very good coach. You didn't trust him in big spots offensively late. I've said this before. Offensive coaches age better. And I think a lot of it is because to be a great offensive coach like Sean Payton and Andy Reid, you have to be an innovator and a creator. Where a defensive coach is blow stuff up. Fast.
Yeah.
So my takeaway of the many advantages that an offensive coach in Buffalo over a defensive coach, there's just a different sensibility in the room. There's a certain language. Brady he wouldn't do it publicly, but he would do it privately about Belichick. Belichick is a really smart guy. But there's a reason Brady was calling 3 times a day in the offseason Josh McDaniels. There is a different language to offensive coaches, and I think so. I really believe Buffalo's offense will be better. Do they lose a little on the defensive side? It just depends on if their draft picks this year and last year hit.
From Joe Brady's, I watched his opening press conference. I talked to him briefly when I was at the Combine. He's kind of sold me. I think he's a really impressive guy. He's kind of, honestly, he feels much more like a guy that would be a star currently in college football, kind of young and hip, like a Dan Lanning type. Yeah. But he's been an NFL guy, which, Sean Payton, he gave reverence. This can be difficult when you fire a coach who is clearly well-liked in the locker room. I think it's an easy transition because he kind of said, Sean McDermott's the reason I'm here. It's not like he comes in acting like everything this guy did was a failure. So I'm buying a lot of as we sit here today, they're my pick to be in the Super Bowl for the AFC.
I love it. This is my whole take about Joe Brady has consistently been there is a difference between being the coordinator and the head coach when you're still within the building. Obviously, we know in general, the difference between a coordinator and a head coach, and we've seen coordinators get hired to be head coaches and they doesn't work out and blah blah blah. So, that's a separate conversation. But the whole thing, and, we've seen a lot of these takes on first things first and whatnot, where it's just like, what have the Bills really done? They already had Brady and blah blah blah. And it's just like this offense will be even better just by virtue of Brady going from coordinating to being a head coach. Josh Allen, I fully believe his relationship and his growth and his impact on the offense with Brady will be different by virtue of Brady going from coordinating to head coach. Also I do think that Brady will be able to influence the offense and have a better relationship because he's now the head coach. So, he's going to have a better relationship with the coordinator than when he was a coordinator, right? Cause it's Sean McDermott. And so I really love everything that the Buffalo Bills are doing. Is it the biggest swings, right? I love the Jalen Waddle and in going, and making moves like the Rams have done and whatnot. Yes, those are big, grand, prominent, awesome moves, right? NDI and I truly love them and I'm truly they're going to be great, they're going to be special, they're going to be awesome. And I can't say that exact same statement with the Buffalo Bills, where I'm just man, this team is stacked. Right? 'Cause I look at the Rams and I'm like, that team is stacked and you have elite coaching and like there you go. The rest is just like, are you healthy? Right? And I can't say that as firmly with the Buffalo Bills. But what I can say firmly is that if the Buffalo Bills are healthy, of course, and obviously Josh Allen, that if their foundation is just simply if their foundation is good because Josh Allen will be great. If their foundation is great because of Josh Allen, they will be elite. Right? I think Josh Allen is such a force multiplier that when you just have the foundation taken care of, when you just don't have liabilities, whether it be with receivers, whether it be because of defense, whether it be because of culture, practice, all that type of stuff. Like whether it be any of these type of stuff. As long as you just take care of the liabilities when you have Josh Allen, it's going to be a force multiplier. And that's what I feel like the Bills are kind of in the process of doing. Right? Where they're just like, let's just take care of, really just plugging up the holes in the ship rather than just trying to build a whole, another brand new boat. Or where they're trying to add all the other fancy, I don't really know boating, man. But all the other fancy stuff that you can add on to a boat. Right? It's like that is what the Rams are doing. That is what the Rams are doing. That is what, say, the Ravens are trying to do to a degree. It depends on which path they were trying to go in time to Max Crosby or, which direction are they going in? And so it is what the Broncos are doing. And I think it's just been a slightly somewhat different path for the Bills, and I'm just really excited to see what it all shapes up to be. I had a lot of confidence in the Bills. And then I started thinking to myself, should I have confidence in the Bills right now? Like, or are you setting yourself up to be disappointed by this Bills team? Like, do you think they're better than they are? And I was like really kind of tossing and turning with that and really kind of chewing on it. And then I hear, Dion Dawkins says, and again, a lot of this stuff sometimes again, it's just like something that you just say. Sometimes you do actually honestly feel it as a player, but at the end of the day, it only means so much, right? Like you either can compete, you either can bring it on the field or you can't. I don't care how you feel. I don't care what the energy is in April, right? Like, can you get to the quarterback in November? Can your receivers catch the ball? Can you block and by Josh Allen time? Like, can you do that or not? I don't care what the energy is like in April. But those things still do matter to a large degree as well. So, I'm not completely dismissing it. Just trying to emphasize that it's not everything, right? But the more I think about it and the more I realize that my initial take about Brady, 'cause again, at first I really wanted like a big exciting swing from a coaching perspective, right? I'm excited at the idea of bringing in like a Mike McDaniel or something, right? Like, I'm just so excited the idea of a Ben Johnson, a Shanahan, that type of coach with Josh Allen, right? Like that ultimately would have excited me the most. So, initially, keeping Brady there, I'm like, what else does that do for Josh, like how do we get this offense to the next level? How do we make the offense easier for Josh Allen, etc., etc. Then you look at DJ Moore and, obviously more moves continue to unfold, and then of course we have the draft coming up, but the more I thought about it and the more I aired out my take about it, I'm like, what? Actually, like, I'm starting to like this move of elevating Brady to be the head coach. The more I thought about it, the more I was like, no, what? Brady's going to be an even better offensive coach now that he's the head coach. And the more I really sat on that, the more I aired out that take, I'm like, I believe it even more than what I initially had said. And that was really kind of one of my earlier takes once the dust kind of settled when Brady was hired. And then hearing John Middlecoff kind of say some of the things that he was saying about his conversations with Brady, it just reinforces that belief as well. I'm just like, yeah, what? That take that I had before, that is the take. Like that is a take and I'm sticking to it and I'm not going to move off it until proven otherwise. And so that's why where I'm at right now is just like Josh Allen force multiplier, they're adding some pieces as long as you don't have the liabilities. It's like it's not that you're a contender or that you're just a great team. It's just like you easily become a special team. You easily become a special team. Think about when there was really no the Bengals had a bad O-line, and now I'm talking about in 2024 now, it's just like when you have enough of the boxes checked, like Joe Burrow, he didn't make the playoffs, but like he played out of his mind that year, right? Like same thing with Patrick Mahomes. It's like you have the right coach, you have the good enough receivers and you had a tight end like Tyreek Hill. It's just like you're going to be able to put up like 5,000 yards and 40-some touch-up, right? It's just like as long as you check the boxes off. As long as it doesn't have to be special. It doesn't have to be otherworldly. It doesn't have to be Hall of Fame town, but it's like as long as you check the boxes, you're going to see greatness. You're going to see special. You're going to see awesome. They did not have those boxes checked off last season. They didn't. I feel like they are on the path to doing that. And so as long as they just check those boxes, we typically tend to see with the Josh Allens of the NFL like literally his by definition like historically great seasons. I think that has just been very true. And yeah, I just think that's ultimately where I'm at right now with the Buffalo Bills. And I'm excited to see the command that Brady has over Josh Allen because I'm all about accountability and all of that, and people have yelled at me because talking about that for me saying that, a coach needs to hold Lamar accountable, and people are like, how dare you say that? And it became a whole big thing. And it's like everyone knows that I think Josh Allen is best quarterback in the NFL, that he is truly special and great and awesome, one of the best to ever do it without a shadow of a doubt, no doubt about it. He needs someone to hold him accountable. Just like every coach, every quarterback does. And so I'm excited to see what that looks like with Brady being the head coach, because it'll be the first time that he has the offensive coach be his head coach. And I do think you're in a position to hold your quarterback more accountable than when you're just the coordinator. In a weird enough way, if you're a coordinator and you're the quarterback, especially at the level of Josh Allen, I don't think that coordinator can hold you as accountable as if when you are the true head coach. It seems like it wouldn't matter that much because it's like, well, that's the head coach of the offense. It's like I get that, but it's a little bit different. It's a lot of bit different, honestly. And so I'm really fascinated to see what that change in relationship dynamic alone can offer. I'm telling you be on the lookout for that. I'm telling you that's something. I'm telling you. So those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen and kind of the difference? Are you buying or selling the Buffalo Bills? Do you agree with Middlecoff that they're going to the Super Bowl? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So do you agree with me or disagree with me? Either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of. I'm going to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.